Hey guys, welcome to another live show of the FanStands with me, Mohsin and Ahmed. How are you, bro?
I'm fine, Mohsin. How are you doing? How's your health?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. I'm doing well. I think I've recovered quite a lot now, but there is still some feeling of the virus. But hopefully, I am back to regaining almost 100% health. But Ahmed, the thing is, a lot of players who have been unfortunate during the current international break, and today we're going to be talking about international football because we still have to wait for a couple of days for club football to
Yeah,
return.
I know.
And so we're changing the tune, we're changing the flavor, and we still have a couple of games today in the Nations League, as Ahmed we discussed before going on live. So my first question before we talk about the Nations League, we talk about the CONMEBOL qualifiers, what's happening in Asia, in Africa. I want to ask you a simple question, Ahmed. Do we need international football at this moment, and what is your answer to it, and why?
Well, Mohsin, nice to hear from you. It's good that came back to your health. Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome all our football fans from all around the world. It's a very broad question, like Mohsin. If we need, if we definitely need international football because eventually you can say most of the players their reputation is built up on playing international football. Club football, if you can consider, they play for either fans or they're earning from it. They don't earn that much from international football. But I think in this current era, in this COVID ridden season, I don't think so. International football was needed because already there is a fixture congestion quite for few of the teams. Like you can see all around the five leagues, club teams are playing, I think, three matches in 10 days, which they usually play, I think, in 15 to 21 days. I think the
Hmm.
season has been shortened, so I think this wasn't needed because as a result of that, most of the players you have seen that they're getting injured. We can the prime example of this are Liverpool team. I think they have gotten almost all the 11 starting players have been injured in some time or another, and all the back four of Jurgen Klopp's defensive team has been injured. So yeah, also we have seen this injury crisis all around the top five leagues. Also, we have been seeing the COVID cases in Switzerland and other places. So yeah, I think international break can be entertaining. I enjoy it. I enjoy it even though our team Pakistan is never in it, but we still enjoy it. We play seeing other Argentinas and our Brazils and our Germans and Dutch and everyone. But for this season, I think it wasn't necessary because they already have a congested fixtures and it's already adding to the misery of fixture list and injuries and COVID related
Yeah,
crisis.
I absolutely agree. I mean, look at Liverpool. They've lost eight players, not all of them because of international football, but a lot of them recently this week because of international football. Sergio Ramos and Rafael Varane are also casualties after their respective games against opponents. And you're right, Ahmed, but no, why are they still going ahead with this? I mean, Uh, my question was a bit broad. Yes, I wanted to ask international football in this current situation, current scenario. It's something they need to talk about. Do you think clubs will talk with UEFA, with FIFA about this?
Yeah, I think they have talked about it. I think they have talked that we already have a very compact season. They have really short season, compacted fixtures, and their players are not getting rest properly. I think they have to play after 3 to 4 every match in after 3 to 4 days. So I think club footballs have complained to UEFA, FIFA and UEFA about this that you should postpone it, but the
Hmm.
problem is that you can't postpone it further because like they already postponed it. Euros supposed to be happening in this year,
Hmm.
but it is postponed to next year. Also,
Hmm.
I think but I think you can I think do something about this World Cup for 2022. You can
Yeah,
postpone a little bit till
I,
next year.
I have a suggestion because they're not going to play international football till March. Instead of for friendly, especially. Why do you have to play Brazil and I mean teams in their own continents? Why do African players need to travel all the way to Africa, Asian players or South American players to their continent to just to play friendlies? They could have, arranged a few players. I mean, a few teams to play against their continental counterparts. I mean, they could have had an African team playing against a European team. That would be so easy. A lot of African players are already playing in Europe. Same for maybe Asian teams. They can come and travel to play in Europe, or they can go elsewhere, South America. I mean, the distance from Europe to all these places is so much, so it's so tiring for. I mean, these club players, especially the ones playing European football week in week out.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's all about that home advantage thing. Even though they don't have fans anymore, but still, it's all about how you have a psychological home advantage. You're playing on your own pitches, on a pitch. You know how to play there. So yeah, like you can say for example, Bolivia.
Mm,
If any other any other team goes there, they are faced with a very high altitude problem. They have a breathing problem, but it's not a problem for Bolivian players because they're
mm,
used to it. So yeah, I think you always get the advantages for that. But I think you're right. I think friendlies, I think it's very, I think unnecessary right now, because all the players are already are informed they're playing continuously. So yeah, the purpose of friendlies was that to get players in the rhythm for the when they perform for the national team, when they have a national team fixture with them. But there's no need for that right now because they are already informed. They have just played with the respective club teams. So yeah, I think they should have scraped the friendlies now, because I know
mm,
most of the good countries like France, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, they all played, I think, their B team or I think C team in the friendlies to just to know which player they can utilize when they play the original
mm.
game.
Okay, so you mentioned a few European countries. There's also another tournament, you can say, set of games going on apart
Yeah.
from friendlies, and we'll come to the other ones. The UEFA Nations League. Ahmed, Jamie Carragher has been a big critic of this concept for a long time. A lot of us have been. I mean, Jurgen Klopp was also had criticized this format because he said that the average football player was playing too much football, and the summer was the only time where a football player could get some rest. But because of the Nations League, they wanted to give some meaning to these matches in between club football. But is it working? What is your take on this?
Yeah. Uh, in this current situation, it's not working because, like, in this COVID-ridden era, it's a congestion fixtures for all the players right
Mm,
now. Even though the Europeans play Euros after every 2 years, I don't see this being played, this tournament playing. Other than that, it gives I think something to the international tournaments. I think they're saying that the European players only play football, World Cup and Euros in after every 2 years. So they
mm,
in between the 2 years, we need something to promote that international football as well. So I think FIFA came up with this idea to check whether it works or not. It started last year. We had couple of enjoyable games, but like I said last time also, I think good countries treated like this, with like how club teams treat Carabao Cup. They play their B team or C teams until they reach semi-final or
mm.
finals, and then they play their proper teams. So yeah, I think this is how the good teams, good national teams are treating it right now. But
Okay.
we haven't seen this trend in this, even though you have might expect playing some other squad players, but no, I think like last night we get to see quite some footballing stars in Spain versus Germany. Even though we get to see quite new faces, but yeah, it's good to also get recognized talent for it. Might we get some new star from it? Just like Ferran Torres yesterday, he performed really against Germany.
Hmm. So, Ahmed, apart from all the criticism, the controversy, what has been going on in the Nations League. You've mentioned Spain versus Germany, so Emma, that was a nightmare for a team like Germany. And is Joachim Low's time up? I mean, will we still see him at the Euros? Because Oliver Bierhoff, a former German international who's part of the German FA, he said that we're going to back Joachim Low, not and not going to axe him just based on one very bad result.
Well, the yeah, it's a bad result. I have to say it's a very devastating result for a very poor German team. I think when they exited that World Cup in 2018, after that I think they have been poor in Euros as well. So yeah, I think Joachim Low has been on a very criticism under very criticism, and I think he made some of very well, you can say very brutal moves about Thomas Muller and
Mm,
Boateng and Hummels. I think he said that we have to recognize new crop of players and we have to play them. And I think that plan isn't working because ironically all the three players he has said that won't be playing anymore have been performing really well for their
mm,
respective clubs. So yeah, the criticism is heavily on Joachim Low, but I think they won't. I think sack him, even though all the German fans are demanding his sacking right now because, like I said, they have been poor for last 2 years. Even though they have utilized their squad, they have a very talented squad coming through. Like Leroy Sané, we have we have Timo Werner, Gnabry, then we have Tony Cruz. The problem is that I don't. Yesterday, if you take yesterday's match, I don't see any leadership from German team. It was like in first 30 minutes, you can see that this German team wouldn't click anymore, and I
mm,
think Spain really demolished them. So yeah, I
mm,
think the easy fix for this is that they call back all the three players. They will call back all the three players and utilize some older talent in their squad like Hummels or Boateng and Muller and all others. Because I think you can't play all the young players who don't have any experience. Like Philip Max, he was playing yesterday. He has a very abysmal game. And all. I think Ginter, I think Ginter, I think he's a really good centre back, but he was playing as a right back. It's not his preferred position. Rudiger, I think, has been in and out of form for me. So yes,
mm,
Sule, I think isn't someone you should rely on constantly as a captain material. I think he works good with someone beside him, like
mm,
either Alaba or either with Boateng or with other good centre back. So yeah, and I think the biggest criticism was like Kuz didn't play really well. I think all eyes were on him that he was the most senior in that team and he wasn't playing good. Also Gundogan and so yeah, I think Joachim Low has quite some work for him because I think this is the last chance, and I think we had quite some rumors coming. Like the two of them are Ralph Ragnick, he was also linked with this job. And one more is Jurgen Klopp, but the problem is Jurgen Klopp is that he is committed to Liverpool until
mm.
2024, so it's difficult. So I think it's Ralph Ragnick if Joachim Low is gone.
Okay, so Ahmed, how good was Spain, the counterpart, Luis Enrique? I mean, you also like Barcelona, you follow Barcelona in La Liga. He's won the treble with Barcelona. He did not go on a very good note, but I mean, he's done very well with Spain and especially Ferran Torres. You've discussed, he's growing as a player. Someone I think Pep can, Pep will be so happy that Ferran Torres can also score goals and he's growing as a player. He's attacking, and I mean, Ahmed Koke and Fabian Ruiz. Wow, they were brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, coming to the Luis Enrique's Spain, I think they have been a bit, you can say, up and down. They have been good. I think the match against Switzerland, they were abysmal. Like
Mm,
Sergio Ramos missed two penalties, so they only equalized in the last minute. But in this match, we get to see a really different Spain side, a really young side, hungry side, I think. Mike Iacobal, and then
Mm.
Alvaro Morata, and Ferran Torres, the new F Torres, which I think City fans will be really happy, and I think Pep Guardiola is really happy. He got him for only 25 million euros. So yeah, I think he played wonderful. I think also I think we have to give credit to Koke and Fabian Ruiz. I think they really bossed that German
Mm.
midfield. I think they had no answer. They played really well. And also, I think Jose Gaya also played really well, and I think then Reguilon also played well. I think the only downside was that Sergio Ramos, but I think he played well. He didn't concede, and they didn't concede any. And I think Unai Simon also, it was good. So, like I said, it was a very brilliant performance from Spain, who were really lackluster against Switzerland.
Okay. And talking about, I think Omar is on here, and we're going to talk about Emmett, your and Omar's favorite team, England. They lost to Belgium. They lost to Belgium 2-0, and now the English media has gone crazy because that's what generally happens. They're criticizing, they're saying they want Southgate out of the England team. Is it fair? I mean, just because you lose one match, Nations League should be an experimental stage. Why are they considering it so serious? Or is it because England lost to a quality team like Belgium, and a lot of fans feel that they're still not good enough? Southgate is not good enough.
Well, the problem with the England media is they always overhype their teams, and they're always under the microscope. So any loss or any bad result, they will be heavily criticized by all the media pundits and that. Even though and even the I think the match against Belgium, even though they played well, especially Jack Grealish, he played
Hmm.
really well, I think. But the problem is that even though England has a really tremendous quality in their all the squad. They have a brilliant squad. I think they have 3 to 4. They can fill 3 to 4 11 player squad. But the problem is that Southgate don't know what his best 11 is. Sometimes he plays 7 defenders. He plays sometimes he plays the very defensive starting lineup. Like
Hmm.
against he played in against Croatia or someone. So yeah, the problem with Southgate is that he don't know how to utilize. Like for quite some time, he picked Jack Grealish in the squad, but he didn't use him in the starting 11. So yeah, there's a
Hmm.
problem. And he used Trippier on the right side, left side, instead of right. So yeah, he doesn't use Trent Alexander-Arnold. I think he doesn't use Kyle Walker properly. Calvin Phillips he doesn't use. So yeah, I think there is quite some criticism for him Southgate, but I think uh, they shouldn't take the Nations League so seriously. I think they should focus solely on the Euros. And like I said, if Southgate just picked his best 11, I think the rest of them they will do their job. Like he should know that which winger should play, which midfield. I think the most difficult thing for Southgate for me is right now. They know what kind of defense they will pick. He knows what
Hmm.
kind of attacking talent he will pick, but he
Hmm.
doesn't know what kind of a midfield he's picking. Should
Even the
he play?
goalkeeper, Ahmed, Pickford is still playing.
Yeah, Pickford, I think has an on and off game. Yeah, I think for Everton he's been playing good. So I think Nick Pop, and also Heaton was, I think, before injury was really good. So I think, yeah, he needs to know that is Pickford the number one for him, or should he give the reins to Nick Pop, who has been performing brilliantly in a very bad Burnley side. So I think the main problem for him is he has to pick what kind of a midfield has to pick. Should he pick attacking midfield, which
Hmm.
consists of Henderson and Eric Dyer, or Calvin Phillips, or Declan Rice, or he picks
Hmm.
something attacking which with Jack Grealish or someone else. So yeah, I think they have so much talent, but they don't know where to play those players. So if until Southgate don't realize where to put these teams, I think it's going to be difficult for England to qualify. But I think in Euros they have a really easy squad. I think they have Scotland and two others I can't remember. Sorry about that. But I think that's
Mhm.
quite easy. And think in Euros they can be playing. They might qualify for that. But for now, their Nation League run is over, and I think they just need to know what the starting 11 should
Mhm. Okay. So, Ahmed, there's one comment. I can't get this on screen, but they're saying in the
be.
current. Can you hear me, Ahmed?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear it.
In the current climate, the games should have been cancelled. Most of these Euro games are dead rubber. It's just a potential for more injuries and more COVID cases.
Yeah, I think this is right. I think it's not the Euro qualifiers. It's
Nations
basically I
League.
think Nations League. The Euro
Mhm.
qualifiers for the Euro have already been done. I think in the last year, this year. I think in the beginning of the year. This is all the Nations League. I think this is the end of Nations League qualifier round. I think next year they will be playing the semi-finals only. So I think
Ahmed,
yeah, like
Ahmed, sorry, I'm interrupting. I need to get this off my chest. You, as an international manager, would you be happy, or as a fan, would you actually value the Nations League, or you wouldn't give a damn and you'd say, I want the Euros, I don't care about the Nations League? Or do you think it's just a mere consolation? Some managers might be happy with it. I mean, maybe if I was a Hungarian fan or a Polish fan, and if or Swiss fan, and if we won the Euros, the Nations League, I might be very happy. But something for Germany, Spain, Portugal, even Holland, is it worth the Nations League?
Like, I think the analogy for emotion is just like the Carabao Cup. Like for
Mm,
some of them, it's gonna be a trophy. For others, I
mm,
think it's just coming in the collection. But I think all the top 10 national teams, if they win the Nations League, they'll be all right because I think they'll be playing their B squad or C squad. I think
mm,
the teams like the who are out of I think out of the top 10, like your Hungaries and your Icelands and your
mhm.
other players, they only have a limited good squad in them, so they have
Uh,
to play their good squad. So yeah,
Emmett, I was going through the FanStands page, so we had a comment from on another post made by our colleague Mohammed Chima. Gary Johnson wrote, Southgate would rather not lose a match than win it. Very negative tactics with our attacking players. We should outscore most other teams.
yeah, I think he's right. I think he's really afraid of losing. That's why he plays defensive football. I think in one match,
Reminds me of Ollie Emmett.
mm, I think with Oli, he doesn't play defensive football. He just plays, like I said, only has a anti-manager tactics. He just
Mm,
plays what the other manager formation is. But for
mm,
like I said, that there was a one match in which he picked Eric Dyer,
mm.
Calvin Phillips, and Declan Rice. I think yeah, it was against Ukraine, and you must be confusing yourself. Why would you pick such a defensive side against a team which you can beat easily? I think
Hmm.
the attacking threat of England is such. You got Jadon Sancho, you got Sterling, you got Harry Kane, you got Abraham, you got Jack Grealish playing on the wing. So yeah, you so got such a good attacking talent. Why you're playing such a defensive football?
So,
That's
Emmett,
why.
Emmett, sorry I'm interrupting because we need to get the questions and the thing rolling in. Emmett, two questions quickly from our great fan Umar. Belgium is winning without Hazard. I think Hazard played, but Belgium are not too reliant on Eden Hazard. I think that is his point. Your take on this? And
Well,
Tammy Abraham, is he good enough to start? I mean, I see Dominic Calvert-Lewin or Harry Kane being preferred over him, so I'm okay with them playing instead of Calvert. Abraham might be on the bench. I don't see him starting.
Well, the first question about Eden Hazard is with Eden Hazard. I think he's been injured quite some time, so he hasn't been playing for Real Madrid or Belgium
Hmm.
so good. But Belgium, I think they already have too much talent, so they won't be missing him. I think Romelu Lukaku is playing really good. Yuri Talisman, and then we have Dries Mertens. And so
Mm,
I think attacking wise, they don't have a they don't have any problem if even I think Hazard doesn't play. Even his brother Torrent Hazard is playing very well for the team as well.
mm,
So they
mm,
don't have any. As for the striking problem in the or the striking option for England, I think the preferred one is Harry Kane. And after
mm,
that, I think they will go with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think with
mm,
Tammy Abraham, even though he's a good striker, he's a bit of inconsistent. I don't know
mm,
why. Like for Chelsea, he have a tendency of scoring goals, but he doesn't
mm,
score it regularly, just like Harry Kane or Dominic
mm.
Calvert-Lewin this season.
So Ahmed, Omar is not asking. He's being shy. I know what he wants to ask. He wants to know about Portugal and Ronaldo because he only wants to talk about Ronaldo. So he's asking when is Portugal playing Andorra, Lithuania, Latvia, these teams. He doesn't want to see Portugal play France.
Well, unfortunately, Mohsin, France played against Portugal, and it was a very, you can say, it was a very exciting match in a different way. Like both team was attacking the ball, but they couldn't score, and
Hmm,
they couldn't score until Conte, who was in the right place in the right time, and he scored. I think he isn't a likely score you have predicted, but other than
hmm.
that, I think it was a very even match. Even Martial had some tries, but he couldn't score. But it was a very even game for him. Like a neutral, you would have enjoyed it.
Acha, Ahmed, sorry, he's raised a very tactical question. Omar, you've become a
Sorry.
smart ass at the moment. Why don't teams go with two striker type formation now?
Well, I think the problem with two strikers formation is that uh, I think all depends on the manager. I think most of the manager want to utilize the wing formation because in wing formation you can utilize your winger as a
Hmm,
defensively as well when they are not attacking your winger can you can your winger can defend back as well when you're
hmm,
playing with two strikers. I think your striking option usually don't go back. Nowadays, I think they will, but I think in the older days, you get to see that you won't see Jamie Vardy defending
hmm,
now because he's a 34-year-old striker. So you
hmm.
won't see him going, but you need their striker to go on a counter attack, go attack and scoring goals. So I
Yeah.
think they can
And
be.
I'd like to answer as well. Tammy Abraham is also struggling to find a place at Chelsea. I mean, Lampard prefers Werner or Giroud over Abraham. Yes, he does give him minutes, but even if you go for a two-man for striking formation, I'd see Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane maybe playing, and both of them can also drop back and give those passes.
So yeah, I think all depends. Like if you like.
So he's a Ahmed against France, Ronaldo. Chelsea players have been fantastic. I mean, in the international games, Ziyech, Kovacic
Yeah,
yesterday against Portugal, two goals.
score two goals.
N'Golo Kante was amazing against Portugal.
Yeah.
So Cristiano Ronaldo, we love him as a player. I mean, I love to keep on seeing him, but do you think it's too much for him to play international football and club football, and especially when you go against these tougher teams, it's demanding too much for him at the age of 35?
Yeah, I think it's tough for him, but like I said, that he wasn't playing bad. Also yesterday against I think Sweden, he played. No, sorry, they didn't play Sweden yesterday. I forgot who they
They played
play.
Croatia. They played Croatia yesterday, but I think
Oh,
it didn't.
sorry. Yeah, Croatia. Sorry about that. They played Croatia, but in both against France and Croatia, I think didn't play bad or totally. I think he had a couple of chances of scoring, but he couldn't score. I think he hit the crossbar a couple of times, but I think
Hmm.
he gave a couple of assists. Like I think Ruben Diaz, I think scored two times, and also Diego Jota was responsible. I think João Felix has been performing really well for
Hmm.
Portugal. and Ruben Diaz as well, and I think Diego Jota, all of them, they can share responsibility with them. I think they know that centrically,
Hmm.
if the times come for a tougher opponent and they need someone to score, I think it's always Cristiano Ronaldo. I think I think he's still a dead ball specialist. Like you
Hmm.
never know, he can score that free kicks or the corners or the headers. So yeah, I think I know we are joking about say his
No, no,
padding
no.
against
Uh,
Andorra and Lithuania,
but
but I
but
think
to be honest, that's jokes. But I want him to break that Ali Dai's record of 110 goals, 19 goals. Sorry,
yeah,
I want
yeah, I
him.
think
I want him to break it.
yeah, I think he will break in the Europe. I think with all the talented players around him, with Diego Jota, Joao Felix, and other, I think they have a
There,
really
there
talented
was
squad.
a comment. Sorry, I'm looking at the old post. That is why you can see a dead face when you're talking. I was actually going through some posts. The on the older, I was seeing LC says last 11 games for Portugal, Ronaldo has scored 10 goals.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
think
he still does have it.
yeah, I think he still have, but I think they were against a lesser opponent, so I think his criticizer won't like that. But I still think I think when he plays, I think he really raises up the bar for the team, and with the
Hmm.
talented squad around him, I think he can easily break that Ali Dice record easily. I think
So,
not in the Nations League, but I think we will see that record breaking in Euros
well,
very soon.
Mahmood says no Lithuanian, no party. Joking. He is still a world class player and always involved in the best player in history debate. This is coming
Yeah,
from a hardcore Barcelona fan.
obviously, I think Messi. Look, you can't say anything to Messi and Ronaldo. For I think for decade they have dominated football, or in the club football as well, and I think in the national as well. Even though they haven't won nationally, they haven't won anything other than I think Euros for Portugal. I
And
think
Nations League,
yeah, Nations League, but I think you
World Cup
can't.
matches. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they
I
won.
think yeah, World Cup do matters, but I think you can't criticize both of them. They have like 11 Ballon d'Or between them. So yeah, I think it's just ridiculous. I know the people do it for banter, but at the end of it, when both of them will retire, I think football will come to normalization. We won't have these two a giant of alien footballers
Mm.
anymore, and I think people will sorely
So,
miss them for many
so
years.
Ahmed, you've spoken about Messi. So let's try to come to the end of the show now. South
Yeah.
American qualifiers. I mean, now this is actually serious football because this has very high stakes compared to Nations League and Euro qualifiers also. Yes, there were some qualifiers, and I'm so happy Scotland is has qualified because of a friend of a friend. I'm happy for a friend because my friend Mr. Lee. From Edinburgh, Scotland. He's coach at Edinburgh Vikings. So congratulations, Lee. I dedicate this that win to you, especially against Serbia, Ahmed. We thought Serbia was going to eat Scotland alive,
Yeah.
but wow, what a win! And Hungary, they've become so good. They've also defeated Iceland. So we're going to talk about that. But Ahmed, South American qualifiers, this serious stakes. In 2002, when Brazil won the World Cup, Cafu said the qualifiers were more harder than the World Cup. So is
Yeah.
South American qualifiers that difficult and that serious to be
Yeah.
considered to be so serious?
Yeah, I think it's difficult because, like I said in the beginning of the show, that for they have very difficult pitch conditions, especially Bolivia. Like for
Hmm.
Bolivia, you have to go, I think, on a very high altitudes, and it's very difficult for teams to perform there.
Hmm.
Before their match, Bolivia versus Argentina, Argentina haven't won there for last 6 years, and they won very difficultly. Like 2-1 was the final score, so it was very difficult. Yesterday, Ecuador, I think Solomon Rondon team. Oh, sorry, he plays in Venezuela. Sorry about that. Ecuador, even though they were two men down in the last 70 minutes, They scored 6 goals against a very brilliant Colombia and James
mm,
Rodriguez Colombia and
mm,
Zapata Colombian. So yeah, I think Brazil, Brazil are really cruising. Played Uruguay, a really good Uruguay team, not a bad
mm,
Uruguay team. They had very good talent coming around. They have Valverde, they have Torreira, they have
mm,
Nandes, they have Godin and uh, Jimenez. So yeah, the Brazil, are on the another level. I think the Argentina, I think quite some Barcelona fans and Argentina fans are very happy, even though Messi isn't performing that good scoring wise, but he's still assisting. And Argentina is also performing really good. Yeah, I think they're
and
second.
there's a comment from a Malay guy I know, Fadzimi. He says Messi is more motivated to play for Argentina than Barcelona.
Yeah, I think that's right because of what with the mess the Barcelona is. I think it's good for him to play in a Argentina camp right now. I think he's much more happy there than I think
Mm,
in the mess that he's been in the Barcelona for last couple of months. So I
mm,
think he's happy in the Argentina, and because of that, I think the formation of Scaloni, their manager, I think he had a couple of controversial choices. I
mm,
think Lautaro Martinez has been performing really well, and also Di Maria and Perez. Uh, Perez is playing also good. Otamendi has been had a couple of good games. So yeah, I
mm,
think Brazil, Argentina are the team to watch for. I think they will qualify. Also, Chile had couple of on and off game, but they also
mm.
trying to qualify. But I think
Ahmed,
uh,
I have a question. Chile football, the golden generation is getting old now. Do they have anyone to take over from Alexis Sanchez, Vidal, and I think Isla? I think Isla, yeah, and
yeah,
Guy Medel, and I forgot the striker's name. Chile, I don't see them qualifying. I
Vargas.
think struggling at six. Yeah, Vargas.
No, yeah, I think they could go. They had. I think they won everything. They won their Copa America when they had a good generational football. But I think all of the Alexis Sanchez is now 33. Vidal also 34. And yeah, I think all the golden generation is getting older, and I haven't seen any Chile talent coming through. So yeah, I think we might see those good time for Chile coming really soon. I think it's time for it's. I guess it's time for either Brazil again to rise again, or I think Argentina for
Hmm.
coming through as well.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, well, and what about Brazil team? They're top of the group. How are they doing?
They're doing pretty well. Like I think Richarlison and I think Firmino and Neymar and Coutinho, all of their attacking thread are performing really well. Defensively, they also were playing really well. Thiago Silva, I think,
Hmm,
performing well. Alan, Casemiro, all of them, I think, I think in the goalkeeping position, Ederson, I think, is performing good. I think he's
hmm,
performing well for Manchester City and Brazil, I think. So I think Brazil don't have any problem. I think they're playing well. They haven't lost. I think either they draw or lost one of them.
hmm.
I don't remember, but I think they're the favorites to qualify. I think, and I
But I
think
mean,
Brazil.
there was news that Neymar got injured again in the Brazilian camp.
Yeah, yeah, I think he got injured. I remember. Yeah, I think he didn't play the last match. I think it was Richarlison and Firmino, and
Hmm.
couple of other regular team played. So I think Brazil they have all their regulars playing, and though I think they don't have any problem qualifying quite easily for this.
Oh, okay, well, and the problem is, I have a friend. He's a very big Brazil fan. He's still concerned. He's saying that the problem is we don't have a proper number nine because uh, in Europe the top scorer was Neymar, and after Neymar it's Richarlison. So they do have some problems in attack. Firmino is scoring for Brazil, but not for Liverpool.
I think then they have to play Richarlison as number nine. Then I guess that's the only solution for me.
Hmm.
Because they can use William Jose from Real Sociedad, but I think he's quite old. But I think Richarlison, I think he has a goal scoring form. They might
Hmm.
utilize him with either Coutinho on the left side, Coutinho on the right side, and Neymar on the left, or something like that.
Well, let's see. I don't see Coutinho on the right. Maybe they might get some new talent for the World Cup. You never know. So, Ahmed,
Yeah,
thank you so much. I didn't expect this
no
video
worries,
to go for 40 minutes, but I think it was possible because of Umar asking so many questions, bombarding
no
us, and
worries. Hmm.
challenging us tactically. And well, I think would like to finish the video. So we're going to be back with club football hopefully after this
Very
weekend.
soon.
Uh,
Yeah, sure.
might might make a solo video on Instagram. So guys, do also follow us on Instagram. Maybe probably discuss about Spurs and City game and talk about La Liga. So we have a lot coming up, Ahmed, in La Liga, Serie A,
Yeah,
Premier
yeah. It's good
League.
for club football to be back. I can't wait.
It is. But imagine Jurgen Klopp going back and he sees, oh, there's no one here in an empty room.
Yeah, I think it's an injury crisis for Liverpool, and that's another topic to discuss, I guess, for the next
Yeah,
time.
I think that's for next time. And guys, we're going to talk about Pakistan football. I'm going to hook in some guests for that.
Yeah,
And I think yeah, Ahmed, I know we're a football page, but I need to really do this one. Make a video on Karachi Kings winning. I think
yeah.
just because unfortunately, we don't have a football team yet. We have a football league yet,
Yeah,
but Karachi United is one of them. So we're gonna drag in
yeah,
someone from there. So Ahmed,
yeah,
thank
sure.
you so much again, and guys, watch, like, share, and subscribe
And subscribe.
on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. So Ahmed, thank you so much. It
No
was a
worries.
enjoyable video.
It-
I really enjoyed
Yeah,
your insights on international football. Hopefully, when the Euro starts, we're gonna cover that as well.
yeah. Obviously, we love football of all kinds. So yeah, it's always pleasure to come on FanStands and to share our thoughts and analysis on what's happening around the world.
It is, it is. Okay, Ahmed, thank you so much. Take care, guys. Allah
Goodbye,
Hafiz.
Mohsen.